This is a great night for us in Pinellas County for the voters here. But you did mention the president's health care plan, and we know that represents a view of government that is of great concern to people across this country. And it's true right here in this community as well. The president's health care plan has hurt the people in this county, and a number of people came out to the polls today to express that concern to the president and to Congress.
All right, folks, there he is, the winner in yesterday's special congressional election down in Florida, David Jolly, the Republican. Do I need to say that? Can't you see the smile on my face? Sending a message. This is a district where Barack Obama won, the congressional district. He won it in 08, he won it in 012. And it's also a district where the Republican was outspent 4-1. And it's also a district where Bill Clinton and Joe Biden came to campaign. Joining us now to talk about this and so much more is the chairman of the Republican National Committee, Reince Priebus. Hello, sir.
Hey, how are you? Happy to be on the show, and it's a good day today, that's for sure.
It certainly is, and you know, the media barely mentioning it. Of course, if it went the other way, we know it would be wall-to-wall coverage, but talk about the significance of David Jolly's win yesterday.
Well, I think, it represents really what you're going to see more of this year. I mean, the fact that, you laid it out very well. You had a candidate in Alex Sink who ran statewide, raised a ton of money, had a bunch of friends in town, including, the Clintons and Ready for Hillary PAC and a lot of other outside money. And, quite frankly, I would have to say the Democrats are feeling and talking pretty cocky the last week and a half about this race. They were already chalking it up as a win, and lo and behold, David Jolly did a great job, the Florida GOP and everyone in between. And the fact is, people don't want and don't like Obamacare, and that's far more powerful than the money that the Democrats poured in, and I think that should tell you something. Not to bring it back to Virginia, and even though Ken Cuccinelli lost, but that's another good example of the power of Obamacare, and that these folks are getting outspent, but the ground game and Obamacare wins it. And I think you're going to see that all over the country. I really think that's the case.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. I get a little nervous when Obama now delays. It's for the good of the people involved, like 80 million of us who would probably lose our health insurance right before the November elections. But he, of course, extended that unilaterally through the not only November elections, but through the 2016 presidential elections. So it might lose a little steam, and it's going to be up to you guys to keep that going and to make the people aware that might get complacent and say, I haven't heard about this for a while, I haven't heard about any problems for a while, to keep putting forth the facts of this, correct?
Yeah, well, first of all, yes, on what our responsibility is, but on your initial premise, I've gone back and forth on this. I think by all these extensions, and I think they're prolonging this cloud of uncertainty over a lot of people in their lives. And so while sure they get this extension on compliance, they still have this cloud. They still have the cancellation. They still have this wonder as far as what is this that I'm going to be getting into, and am I going to be able to keep my doctor? And in many cases the answer is going to be no. And you're going to have a choice on the ballot. You're going to have a choice between the person that's going to clear that cloud from your life, or you're going to go with the person that defended the fact that this cloud is over your head. I think the choice is still there, Steve, and they can't take it away, not with a president that is as stubborn as Barack Obama, because he's not willing to delay the whole thing or scrap it or start over. He's too stubborn. It's what he's all about, and people are rejecting it everywhere across the country.
Yeah, and there's a report out today. It's not a report, but HHS, Kathleen Sebelius, admitted today at a Ways and Means Committee hearing that she doesn't know. So these numbers we hear about how many people have signed up, she doesn't know how many people have paid premiums, which to me means she doesn't know how many people have signed up, because you're not signed up. You don't have it until you send a check in.
And then you look at, not just that, great point, but then you also look at the numbers that they're willing to release as far as the sign-ups that they're claiming that they verified, and they're now far below expectations. On top of that, young people aren't signing up, which throws the actuarial work off kilter. This isn't going away. And like I said, months ago, we were going to tattoo this on the foreheads of these Democrats, and we're going to run against them all over the country. And you know what? We're running in red states all through the U.S. Senate races, and the president's popularity is totally upside down, far worse than it was in 2012 when he lost almost all of those he lost all those red states, but he's losing them by even more now, and it's just going to make it even better for us to win the U.S. Senate.
You know, I wish I had a soundbite, even though I cringe when I play one from her. Debbie Wasserman Schultz, the head of the DNC, so I guess your counterpart, yesterday after the victory by David Jolly, put out a quick response press release or statement saying that the Republican candidate and the Republicans in that race, who won, mind you, underperformed.
You know, I just got to believe, you know, it's one of those tweets that's so bizarre and goofy that you wonder if she actually sat there and typed it herself or some person in their comm shop thought it was a good idea. Well, I'm sure you saw it didn't take me a whole lot of time to figure out what my response would be. So I just wrote back, you know, ha, 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 because it's such a goofy thing to say when you just lost a race that almost everyone on MSNBC and CNN were predicting you were going to win, and you lost it. And it was a big night for us. There's just no way you can't turn that thing any other way. It was a good night, a good way to start the 2014 midterms. And it should give some encouragement to people out there that, you know, with a better ground game and good data and a good message, which obviously is, you know, Obamacare is a disaster, is something most people agree with us on. You know, we're going to win a lot.
You talk about, I want to just tell you what the president's latest poll numbers are, and this comes from the Wall Street Journal NBC News poll out today, found that Obama's approval rating is down from 43% in January to 41%, over half, 54%, disapprove. And you know, if you take it issue by issue, Reince, every single issue, and in general, the direction of the nation, most people disagree with every one of his policies. Most people believe the country's headed in the wrong direction, and it just boggles the mind. He's so unpopular, and he keeps going around. I got a pen. Today he said, my time's running out. I can't wait. He's bragging about what he's doing with the pen.
Think about this. So, you know, in 2012, one of the issues with this president, you recall, you know, his policies were often unpopular, but he was relatively popular. Well, now his policies are even more unpopular, and now he's unpopular. Now, you just read that poll, but for your listeners, just keep this in mind. What do you think his numbers are in Alaska, Montana, South Dakota, Arkansas, Louisiana, and West Virginia are?
Yeah.
Because those are the 6 races we've got to win, and then some after that. So that number, as bad as the one that you just read, my promise to you is that it's a whole lot worse in those Senate races that are up, and that matters a lot.
Well, let me get to the Arkansas Senate race right here. Not to throw you a curve, but Senator Pryor has doubled down on his remarks, which we played at the end of last week, where he, in an interview talking about Congressman Cotton, a proud military veteran, saying that Cotton has a sense of entitlement, thinking that because he served in the military, he's entitled to serve in the Senate, saying that it's not a qualification because you're in the military to serve in the Senate. And instead of taking those horrible remarks back, he's doubling down on them. Is that going to hurt him?
Well, I think he should. I think Mr. Pryor ought to get down on the Senate floor and apologize to every single woman and man that has served in the military, especially folks like Tom Cotton, who fought for our country overseas and put his life on the line. You know, it is a embarrassing thing to say among somebody who's an elected United States senator. He had to go to the floor and apologize.
I agree. Hey, Reince, great talking to you, sir. Thank you so much. I look forward to seeing you soon.
All right, take care.
Thank you. Reince Priebus, ladies and gentlemen, chairman of the Republican National Committee, here on the Steve Malzberg Show. Yeah, we played you those prior remarks. Outrageous remarks. And instead of saying, hey, I made a mistake, I misspoke, I woke up on the wrong side of the bed, you know, my shoelace was untied, anything, nah, he's sticking to it, baby. He's doubling down. Just who advises these people? You gotta wonder. All right, when we come back, it's the panel, the Malzberg panel. Kevin Jackson will be here, and John Gizzi. So you're not going to want to miss that. And then Herman Cain after that. What an hour right here on the Steve Malzberg Show, only on Newsmax television. Don't go away.